Hi everyone, my name is Rav Jared Anstandig and I'm one of the incoming Skanim at Beit Midrash Zichron Dov, and I will also be serving as the rabbinic assistant at Sharei Shamayim. This is the first of 3 videos in a series about a mitzvah called Lo Titgo to Do. I'm looking at this mitzvah from the Torah to the rabbis. So first, what is this mitzvah? For that, we look at the Torah in this week's parsha. Torah tells us, Sefer Dvarim, Perek Yud Daled Pasuk Aleph, Banim atem Lashem Elokechem. You are the children of the Lord your God. Lo titgo to do. You shall not do this act called titgo to do. We're going to leave that untranslated for right now. V'lo tasimu korcha beinenechem lamed. And you shall also not shave the front of your heads because of the dead. So what is this talking about? So it seems from context, titgo to do, as well as this lo tasimu korcha beinenechem, the shaving of the front of the head, it sounds like these are some sort of mourning rituals that were practiced, and the Torah is prohibiting them. The classical mefarshim, the classical pashtanim, that is, those commentaries who concern themselves with the contextual surface meaning of the text, so they all explain this verse in the same way. Titgo to do, the act titgo to do means to make a cut, to make an incision. And so the prohibition here is against marring one's flesh as an act of mourning or sadness. And so this approach is taken up by commentaries like Rashi, Rashbam, Ibn Ezra. All of them understand this verse as a type of, as a prohibition against engaging in this type of self-harm as a sign of grief. Now, Ibn Ezra offers us, in addition to this comment, he also offers us a little bit of an explanation as to why this is so problematic. So Ibn Ezra, again, 12th century Spain, he says the following. He says, once you know that you are children of God, and that's how that verse begins, that verse opened up with the line, Banim atem, you are children of God. So once one realizes that, al titgo to do al kol ma sheyaseh, it's inappropriate to start marring one's flesh anytime something goes poorly. Ki kol asher yaseh latovu, because everything that Hashem is doing as this parental figure is for our own benefit. And Ibn Ezra continues and explains that this is just like a child who doesn't understand why a parent makes a certain rule. For instance, just the other day, my 2-year-old and I happened to come across a shard of glass on the ground, and all she wanted to do was to eat the glass. She thought, I don't know what she thought it was ice. I don't know. She wanted to eat the glass, and I, of course, said no. And she couldn't understand why I was saying no. And hopefully, with maturity, she'll understand why it is that our family has a no eating glass policy. And this is Ibn Ezra's point. It is acceptable and even actually a mitzvah to be sad and to mourn a loss. Ibn Ezra is not saying that everything should be always happy. No, he says understandable. It's appropriate when one experiences a loss to be sad. But this act of self-mutilation, that Ibn Ezra says, that is excessive. It's an act of refusing to accept God's decree, and so it borders on an idolatrous belief that I know better than God. And for this reason, the Torah tells us, lo titgo to do. One shall not engage in this type of self-destructive act. The thing is, all of what we're saying right now is according to the Pshat, what we'll call that surface, plain meaning of the text. There is, however, another approach. The Gemara, Masechet Yevamot, 13b, the Talmud tells us, lo titgo to do, lo ta'asu agudot agudot. What does the Torah mean when it says you shall not do this titgo to do? It means do not become numerous factions, agudot in Hebrew. The word titgo to do sounds a lot like the word agudah. An agudah is a faction, a group of people, an association of people. So lo titgo to do means that you shall not form these factions or associations. That is to say, in Judaism, we need to have a unified front. It cannot be that I practice one way and you practice another way. Rather, we are all on the same page practicing together. We do not create different groups. Now, this rabbinic explanation is very different than the pshat, the surface meaning that we started with. And so my question, and the question that I'm going to leave you with today, is this. What is the relationship between these two interpretations? What happens when the rabbis come along and tell us that a verse in the Torah means something different than what the surface meaning actually suggests? Is it possible for both the pshat, the surface meaning, and a rabbinic explanation to coexist? Or does one necessarily beat out the other? I'll leave you with that food for thought. In the meantime, I thank you so much for coming and learning together as we explore this mitzvah of lo titgo, to do, from the Torah to the rabbis. Have a great day.